Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to ChriswithaC. Hope you are doing well. Thank you very much for joining me today. Guys, last time we had this big beastie on the channel, we did lose one of the parts in the front, and got talking to Avery and the guys at M2C, and we was talking basically about the retainer on the front pillow balls. And he kindly sent over a replacement. Okay, so we have got a replacement for the pillow balls. Now, one of the other issues I had with the truck is when we went to Penallta, I managed to bend the drive shaft, and looking into it a bit further, it turns out that that truck is quite a common thing. So where the heavy weight of the car kind of slams down on the side, the drive shafts take the brunt of it, and what happens is obviously they bend. Now, M2C has kindly sent me over a little upgrade here, and I think it is going to be a hell of an upgrade actually, to be honest with you, because these are the Overkill drive shafts for the 8S ARRMAs. So obviously this will apply to the Creighton and also the Outcast, but these are considerably thicker and stronger than what the originals are. So I'm going to get those on the car today. I'll show you the differences between the two. We're going to charge 2 sets of batteries. We are going to take it down to Dusty and let the old girl eat. I want to say a huge thank you to M2C for obviously sponsoring the video. Guys, there will be a link in the description where you can pick these parts up, and obviously to the M2C website and all their socials underneath. Enough talking. Let's head over to the bench, start working on the car, and I can show you the differences. How's that? Right, okay guys, so as you can see, the front pillow ball. What happened is when we were out running, the retainer essentially backed itself off. Now I think it's probably to do with that heavy impact that I had on the front end. So essentially what that's done is kind of pushed itself out. Now in the process, I actually lost one of these little dowel rim pieces that sit against the pillow ball itself. When you tighten the retainer in, obviously the dowel rim just sits nicely on top of the pillow ball and keeps that kind of nice movement going between the obviously the front hub and the pillow ball, so there's no restriction going on. So that was one fix. Now the other thing is, these drive shafts are known for bending, unfortunately. The issue we got with these is the weight of this truck. You're talking fully laden with batteries, you're close to 30 pounds in weight. Big heavy vehicle, and in all fairness to ARRMA, the plastics, they flex. There's no issues there. I haven't broken any plastics, but where the pressure of the wheel landing here causes the drive shaft to bend. So what M2C has actually come up with is these Overkill drive shafts. Now these are considerably thicker, all right, so and they actually come with a few extra bits to keep them all sat in the arms and obviously the hubs on the car. Now what I'm going to do is I'm obviously going to take this front hub off. I'll show you the differences between the two drive shafts, and then we're obviously going to fit that in all four corners and take the car for a bash. As I say, the part number on this one is 310926C. all right, so obviously you can get these on M2C themselves. I think places like Model Sport and a few other places actually stock these here in the UK. And the pillow ball retainer kit, I did mention this, and obviously when we added all the parts on the car, is 3325, again for the 8S ARRMA. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this a second. I'll come back to you in a sec. I'm not going to put you on a time lapse because obviously it's not that sort of video. I'm not doing a full build on the car. I'm going to just remove this hub, and then I'll show you the differences between the drive shaft. Right, okay, so we've got the front drive shaft out, guys. So that is the drive shaft that comes with the truck, as you can see. As I say, these have a bit of bending. So what we're going to do now, we'll open up the M2C ones, just a second, and I'll measure the differences between the two. So, got my verniers. As you can see, what they are tapered towards the center, thickness in the center there. So at the furthest end on the M2C, let's zero that out, they are 7mm, and then in the center is actually 8mm. okay, now you compare that to the ARRMA version. So just zero that back out again. The ARRMA ones are 5.5, so quite a substantial difference there. And if you can visually actually see that, obviously the M2C drive shaft is the one at the bottom there. Quite a bit of difference. So let's just in case I've measured that wrong, No, 5.5 for the ARRMAs. And then the center of the M2C Overkill are, as you can see, 8. So yeah, huge difference, absolutely massive difference between the two. And with that, I mean, so far that's the only thing I can really kind of point out with this truck. Like I say, I did install some other upgrades from M2C, so we got the bell crank and obviously the chassis support. Not a lot that I can kind of point out that was wrong with it. I do have some other trick bits I'm going to be doing in another video. But I didn't really want to kind of go overboard with this truck. I kind of still want it to be still an Outcast without chucking too much weight into it because, well, she's an heavy old girl anyway. Remember, when you're taking your pillow balls out, keep everything safe and tidy. Obviously, your bearing will probably be stuck to this here. All I did to release my bearing off was basically open up my vise and just tap the top of the drive shaft or the stub axle through to get your bearing off. Now, when you're installing this, you are, just to be aware, you are going to need some Loctite as well, guys. So the parts they're asking you to install, you've got your pins in there, but they come with these, let me show you quickly. They come with little grub screws, and the idea of that is so you don't lose your pin. And I did watch Aldo, he works a lot with M2C. Aldo had a little tip of when you set your Loctite or thread lock or whatever you want to call it, basically just blow it off with a gas torch. And I'll do that in a second now just to show you. But yeah, make sure you're putting some good quality thread lock on as well. I'm going to pause 2 secs. I'm going to get the stuff I need and I'll come back. Right guys, okay, so as you can see, we are going to be installing the drive shaft. So it's just to visually show you, I know obviously I just showed you, but you can see the difference is quite substantial between this is the M2C and that's your ARRMA one. Now, we're going to need to transfer, obviously, on the smaller end, so let's imagine it that way. So this is where your, or is it the other way? I'm just trying to look now. I think it might be, actually, yeah, it was right. So we're going to need to transfer, obviously, this stub axle onto this shaft here. Now, they come with these little pins here. And as you can see, what happens, there is a section in there that is threaded. So you're going to need to put it through, line up with this hole, and then put this little hex screw here into the, obviously, the threaded part of the drive shaft. So what that'll actually do is hold everything in place and lock it all down properly. And these pins, again, hell of a lot more substantial than the ARRMA ones here. So these are, again, hardened steel. So the idea is I'm going to transfer everything all over now. As I mentioned, you are going to need some decent thread locker or lock and seal, or, you know, Loctite or whatever you use. Ideal, you want to cure it. So I'm going to be, I did pick up this little gas torch here after watching Aldo's video. A big shout out to you, brother, if you're watching, by the way. You're going to need to basically set your Loctite by just, all he did was run a little bit of heat over it to keep the pins in. So a nice little tip that was. I appreciated that. But yeah, transfer obviously this to there, get your pin in, lock it all down, and yeah, we should be good. Right guys, okay, so I've actually, as you can see, I've put the one side in. There's a grub screw each side. All right, so they give you 4 in total per drive shaft. Right, so a little bit of research, and apparently thread lock is something called an anaerobic substance. So basically, with the absence of air, obviously it will cure. So the whole point of Aldo using a gas torch essentially is to remove the air and let it cure. So all I'm doing here is just blasting it, and essentially that will cure the thread lock a little bit quicker and better, really. So that's been done. You don't have to go too nuts, but yeah, make sure that's all thread locked in. I will give that little edge a little bit of a wipe there, like so. So as you can see, both sides, and we've got the pin in there, and that is, well, using a bunch of chemical stuff that I've got no idea about, to be quite honest with you, but it's a big word and I like it. Right, gonna carry on. Gonna get the parts fitted back on the car. I hope I didn't mess that up. If I have, let me know in the comments, because I've been quoted by someone else and I can give them a little dig. Hey! I'll speak to you in a bit, guys. Guys, if you're enjoying the content here on ChriswithaC, consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, and yeah, enjoy more content that's coming up. It costs you nothing, it means the world to me. Right, okay, so Overkill drive shafts are in, guys. These are the drive shafts they replaced, and I tell you what, huge difference between two, especially how stout the new drive shafts are. And one thing I've noticed, and I will say with Avery, and I watched a video on his XR series, so the X-Max and XRT drive shafts, he literally guessed them within millimetre perfect, so you know, it's too much. But these are absolutely massive, so I can't see these bending anytime soon, but I will give it a good try, don't worry, because I'm very good at breaking parts at the moment. Right, what we're going to do now is obviously get the wheels back on. I've managed to replace the pillow ball retainer in the front. The rest of the car I'm not going to touch, because there was nothing wrong with the car in the first place apart from drive shaft, and I'm missing that retainer. I might possibly, as you can see underneath you, I have got the Terraforms, so I might possibly check the Terraforms on and see how the car feels with them. But having said that, I think, especially with Dusty, the big blocks, the 8S tyres, they're absolutely perfect because they really dig into the dirt. So, don't know, I'll give us some food for thought. Anything else to notice? Like I said, huge shout out to Aldo Loyal for that little tip about setting your thread lock. I appreciated that, and it does make sense really. Take away the air and then obviously your thread lock sets a bit quicker. Other than that, again, link will be in the description where you can actually pick all the parts up, guys. Huge shout out to Avery and the gang from M2C. Wheels on, battery charged, let's go, see you in a sec. Right guys, okay, so we're down at Dusty now. We've got the Outcast with us. I got 2 sets of packs to run through it. Not a heavy bash here, but yeah, just come to test the car out after putting obviously the drive shafts in and replacing the pivot ball holder. I have got 2 sets of packs, as I say. Gonna give it a rip now and have some fun. See you in a sec. Right, okay. As I say, fitted the Overkill drive shafts. Bit of a dusty rip now. Definitely looks mean cutting through the dirt though. And straight down. As I say, this truck definitely feels a little bit more like a truggy really, as opposed to how the X-Max feels. It's obviously a lower stance, and the car just kind of sits and squats and off it goes. So I can imagine obviously the Crate 8S being, well, that next level, especially on this sort of rip. But dust clouds for days, guys. I can't see a thing. Proper dusty. I was down here yesterday. Nice big loop and back out again. Awesome. Awesome. Right. Yeah, badass truck this. Badass truck. I can't see a thing. Wait for the dust to clear because I can't see the car. It's not like the X-Max in the bright colour. There you go. So I'm not really going to see anything difference performance-wise, other than it's going to be more durable. But it has been a long time since we've had this truck out, actually. So nice to see it back in action, and I'm glad, to be honest with you, because I was starting to have my doubts whether I was going to wanting to keep hold of it, but yeah, I'm glad I have. Such a different feel to my Traxxas trucks. Can't see a thing again. Where am I? There you go. I'll tell you what we're going to do, actually. I'll tell you what. Let's check a GPS on it. I've got a GPS with me. Oh, actually, no, I haven't. I didn't bring it. Forget about it. Forget about it. Let's just rip. Burn a couple of battery packs. Flat out over to the tree. Lovely. Stock gearing, stock diff oil. I haven't really bothered changing anything in that sense, and to be honest with you, I really don't feel like I need to. Trying to beat the dust. Here she comes. You most certainly know when this thing's coming at you, mine. Now I know obviously these are made for stunts and stuff, but to be quite frank, couldn't give a monkey's uncle. I'm enjoying it. Wheelies for days. Awesome. So yeah, the idea is now, obviously, I think, get off some natural jumps, give it a good bash session, and see how the truck holds up, see if there's anything else really. The main thing for me is just durability, as you know. I don't want it to be the fastest and the most stupidest. Because if that was the case, I wouldn't be messing about with this truck, and obviously, or I'd have it like completely upgraded with a big ass motor in it. And AVC's working lovely, by there. Have I got AVC? No, I haven't actually. AVC's not even turned on. Does like the push, mind, I've noticed, but that's obviously because the front wheels are offloading. Right, I'm going to bring it off here and then run it straight off the concrete. Dust for days. And then flat out. definitely don't need any more power in this truck. As I say, guys, all the parts that I've featured on this truck from M2C, I will put a link in the description. Go check them out. I noticed Avery started doing some sales as well, so I'll keep an eye out for that. But anyone who is tuning into this and doesn't realise, this is the first kind of truck I bought myself from a channel. We did a trip up the wheel spin, and yeah, very glad. Just an absolute terrorist. Cutting a line there nicely. I could just about see it. There you go, sun's coming out, so that's good. And I think that's possibly a set of pack of batteries, eh? Yeah, that's LVC. So let's take it back, swap the batteries over. Sweet. Very happy. Let's quickly check the temperatures on the truck. But yeah, that's one set of pack of batteries down this motor. Little bit of temperature. Might possibly upgrade this one fan there, but overall, bang around. Drive shafts, everything's fine there. Nothing seems to be rubbing. Maybe a little bit of rubbing on the front, nothing major, but that's nothing to be alarmed about. The main thing is everything's holding up. Right, gonna pause. Right, so just putting a second set of batteries in the car, guys. I will say the truck is running sweet as a nut at the moment, so I haven't really got anything that I want to do to it. There is a possibility that I might be changing the servo over, but with something that's a little bit stronger, so that could be further down the line. Although I will say, at the moment, the steering I don't seem to be having too much of a problem with, so I don't know, I'll see how it goes. But gearing, no, definitely not going to do anything there, because the truck is, well, as easily as quick as all my other 8S trucks. Just run it and have some fun, really, to be honest with you. I really can't think of anything that I want to add to it. The suspension package, I will say, is very nice. Those pistons that I've added, the car does seem to want a grip angle, and a lot of that is obviously the way the car's sitting down and offloading the power, rather than wanting to pop the wheels up all the time. And to be honest, that's exactly what I was after, rather than it just constantly wheeling, which most Outcasts do. I did kind of want to get a little bit of handling out of the truck at the same time. So yeah, mission achieved with that one, I think. So I want to say a huge thank you to each and every one of you. Obviously watching all the videos, all the likes, shares and subscribes go on the channel. Very humble to have you on board, and thank you very much for obviously your support with the channel and the comments and everything else. And if there's anything you'd like to see on the channel, guys, please let me know, because I'll do my best to obviously accommodate it. Any tutorials or anything like that you'd like to see. Right, pack number 2. Let's give it a rip. She's definitely hauling ass, mind. Turn in. It's funny. Yeah. See, so you can pop a wheelie when you want to. Such a silly truck, honestly, when he wants to. Dust for days. It's proper dry here at the moment as well. Flat out, turn. Might add a little bit of preload on the rear because she is sitting quite a bit. Right, back down to the bottom, nail it. Epic, absolutely epic. Can't wait to get this up to Penallta and give it a good rip with the XRT and the X-Max. Oh yeah. Right, let's take it fast off the tarmac. Definitely dug up the ground here, mind, over the past couple of days. Let's take it off the tarmac, nail it up here, and then take it right down to the bottom. Oh, to the tree, turn around right by the tree, back down, try and miss the white post that everyone nearly hits. There you go, cut back in, follow this line up here, turn sharp, nice. There you go, I found myself again. And it's funny because I was watching Jason Perrin going on about this truck, and is his favourite RC, and I can definitely see why. I haven't had enough time behind the wheel to kind of work out is this a contender for my favourite truck, but she's definitely growing on me, guys. She's definitely growing on me. There's something about this one as well. I'm kind of hooked on the 8S trucks at the moment as well, very much so. Not saying I don't enjoy some other ones, but I don't know, it's a different feel to these. It's just brutal. Off she goes. Down to the bottom, turn, nail it back up through. Sweet. Something about that roosting across there, honestly, it definitely tickles my pickle, that's for sure. Machine gun by there. Oh, right, I best go turn it over then. Cue the music. Tell you what, it's nice to come down here, mind, when there's absolutely no one here, no dog walkers. Big shout out to Doug Morgan as well for the little tips with the screws. Where are we to? There we go, we're facing the right way. There's not much that stops these these big trucks, mind, is there? You just tall grass, whatever, trees. We're on our way through it. Sod it. Pop wheelie down to the turning. Dust for days. Absolutely bangerang. If you're wondering, guys, the batteries I'm using today are the DXF 6500 golds. I think they're 100 series ones, if I remember rightly. But I've been using these in the 8S trucks now. Whoop, there you go, bit of traction roll. Whew. Dust in my mouth. The more I drive this, the more I keep thinking to myself, Christ, I might need to try the Kraton at some point. Then again, though, bouncing back to what Jason was saying, he said he preferred how this one drove. So, don't know, might need to try a Kraton out before I if possibly drive one. I know a few of the boys have got them before I make my own mind up, because if this is still better than a Kraton, it seems like a big waste of money otherwise. Where are we to? Right, got to be coming close to the end of the battery soon, I'd imagine. There you go, and literally as I said it, LVC. So 2 packs in, drive shafts are fixed, pillow balls are good. Next step for this truck is literally go and send it over some umps and have a bit of fun with it. But I know I say about the X-Max and the XRT, but again, this one, total badass. Definitely the best looking truck out of the fleet. I don't know, I'm so torn, honestly. I like them all, but I'm not going to say which one I prefer. I think that's down to you guys to make your mind up, but I like them all. I like them all. They're all good trucks. They all got their own qualities and they all drive different. So yeah, very lucky boy, I suppose. Right, let's go heads up and we'll talk about it, and then see you in a sec. Right guys, welcome back. Okay, so huge thank you to M2C for sponsoring this video. I've got a full build coming up on the Mojave as well, so stay tuned for that. Links will be in description. Thank you Avery and the gang for obviously sending the parts over. Guys, on this truck there's a few M2C parts that I will list in the description. Go over and check them out, and as I say, keep an eye on their social media, because quite often they have some sales on or some bargains, so it's definitely worth doing. What do you think about the Outcast, guys? Is this kind of your thing? Are you interested in getting yourself one? Is there any upgrades I should be adding to the truck, or shall I just leave it as it is? I suppose for me now, with the truck working the way it is, I don't think I particularly need to change anything. But maybe there's something that you guys own, maybe there's a secret sauce to make it even better. Right, I want to say a huge thank you to you guys watching all the videos. Make sure you check the box for more videos. Stay awesome. I'll catch you later.